Today's video is sponsored by Cove. If you've ever made seitan from washing flour, you know that you have left over a bowl of a white, milky liquid. I recently made a video using the wash flour method, so I have some of that liquid remaining. That's this stuff right here. But there's a load of different things that you could do with the wheat starch, and that's something that I wanted to explore today. Now, one of the fun things that you can do with this wheat starch is you can ferment it. And we're gonna do just that. We're gonna do a very quick fermentation. I'm talking really quick. And we're gonna do that fermentation by using a probiotic. Now this probiotic here is a probiotic that contains, it's all vegetable cellulose. It's a single tablet of lactobacillus, I don't know how you pronounce that, but lactobacillus, it's a single tablet. We're gonna use this tablet, we're gonna use one of these guys right here to ferment the cheese. Now, if you've never made seitan using the washed flour method, it's actually really simple. You just make a dough ball, knead it together into a nice, smooth, pliable ball, throw it in some water, and then after about an hour of the dough ball sitting in the water, you start kneading the dough ball into the water, essentially washing away all of the starches. You could do this in 1 or 2 steps. You can do it, wash it until the water gets very milky, and then move the dough ball into a clean bowl of water, and then wash it for a second time, and you can continue doing that until you have clean water. That will give you the most starch if you want to try this cheese method. For this cheese, we're only going to be using about 3 tablespoons of the starch, so you're not going to need to wash a whole dough ball to get all of this starch. So we have our safe starchy water. You could see this water, like I said, it's about half water, half of the wheat starch. You want to pour it off to where it's about a 50-50 mix. You can try to get as much water out as you can, but for the most part, we're going to want this to be fairly liquid. It's going to be easier to work with when it has some liquid in it. So at this point, all we're going to do is take our probiotic tablet. We're going to do 1 tablet, which is a half of a milligram of the probiotic. And then we're just going to crush it up in a pestle and mortar. And all we're going to do is just drop this into our starch. I'm just gonna throw the lid on this real quick, give it a quick shake, make sure that those probiotics are mixed through with the starches that are there. Now, these probiotics are gonna eat the sugars from the starches. They're gonna create a sour taste and a sweet taste. Now we can let this just sit sealed up, room temperature for a few days, or we can add some heat to it. Between 104 and 110 degrees is where we're gonna get this to. And I'm gonna do that by using a bread proofer. Now I know a bread proofer isn't super common, so if you don't have a bread proofer and you have an instant pot, you might be able to use an instant pot on a yogurt setting. If you don't have an instant pot with a yogurt setting, you might be able to just wrap this in a heating pad on like a low heat. Follow your own, whatever you feel is safe. You know, don't do anything that you feel might be a little dangerous. I'm gonna loosen the lid, throw the lid on, get this in the bread proofer, get the bread proofer on, and we're gonna heat this up to about 104 degrees. And now we're gonna let this go for about the next 6 hours, and then we'll put together our cheese. It's gonna go together quick. Hey gang, I wanna tell you a little bit about today's sponsor, Cove. This speaker is unlike anything that I've seen currently. This is the new Commuter 2 from Cove that I have been using for a while now, and I have been loving it. So all I do is just connect my Bluetooth and away we go. I mean, listen to this thing. I mean, it gets really loud. Now the great thing is you can use this in the kitchen while you're cooking, you can use this around the house while you're cleaning, and I've been using it outside, and wait, look at how cool this feature is. So when combined, they create a really nice 360 surround sound like effect. But when you break them apart, you have a true left and right stereo sound. I mean, really, it's like you're getting 2 speakers for the price of 1. Now, every time I've used it, I've only used it on a single charge. It gets you up to 7 hours of battery life. It's water resistant, has a built-in microphone, and has a 30-foot range. So Cove, thanks for sponsoring today's video. Make sure you click the link in the description below to get 67% off one of the most affordable, unique speakers that I have ever seen. I love this thing. Thanks, Cove. Okay, so this has been fermenting for about 6 hours now. We should have a nice, kind of bubbly, it is. So now this fermented starch, we could use this in place of the starch that we use in any of our vegan cheeses, and replace the starch and lactic acid, because this is gonna give us that nice kind of sour taste and like a little bit of a funky taste. Today I'm gonna make like a yellow cheese. I kind of want to make like a nice melty, kind of like dippy cheese. This one's gonna be easy and you could substitute a lot of different things. I'm gonna start with 2 cups of pea protein milk. Now at this step, you could use a cashew milk, you could use soy milk, really any nut milk or plant milk is gonna work in this step. Now I'm just gonna shake up our wheat starch, and we're gonna use 3 full tablespoons, 1/4 cup coconut oil, tablespoon mushroom powder, quarter cup nutritional yeast, tablespoon of agar, 1 tablespoon of tapioca starch, and about a teaspoon salt. Then just give it a quick blend on a low speed just to mix together. Now I can tell you right now that I really want mine to be a little bit more like orangey, so I'm just gonna do just a little bit of natto and some smoked paprika. This should bring our orange level up a little bit. And the smoked paprika will give us a little bit extra, like a nice flavor. I'm loving the look on this. We just gotta get this into a small saucepan. We're gonna put it on a low heat, heat it up until it gets to a simmer, and let it cook for about 5 or 6 minutes at that simmer. At this point, you have an amazing cheese sauce. Or you could throw this into some ramekins, throw it in the refrigerator or even in the freezer, and let it firm up. Once it firms up, you have yourself a really awesome, sliceable, funky cheese. This has been in the refrigerator for just maybe 2 hours or so, but it is firm. Check this out. This is a solid yellow cheese. I mean, phenomenal. And because of those fermented starches, it has an awesome cheesy taste. Wow, it really does. Wow. Might have been a little overboard on the paprika just to get that color. Could have probably toned that down a little bit, but wow. Baby, you wanna try this?